Today in Nerd History!
Mario Odyssey is a game that's completely bonkers and totally overflowing with incredible and incredibly weird ideas. There's the many disparate worlds, the many costumes, the strange bad guys, and all of this is even before we get to the idea of a hat that possesses people. Basically, it's hard to believe that there were any ideas that were discarded. But video game development often entails many long hours going into ideas that will never make it into the full game. Luckily, a new Mario Odyssey art book, which we painstakingly imported from Japan for you, is a veritable catalog of all the coolest and most bananas ideas that were cut from Mario Odyssey. Let's take a look at 5 of the best. It was hard to pick. It's a huge book. Number 5, New Donk City. From the minute New Donk City was revealed, people were confounded and confused by the unlikely juxtaposition of cartoony Mario amidst regular, full-size humans that are drably dressed in some sort of digital simulacrum of Manhattan. It sparked feverish speculation. Was this Mario breaking into the real world, or was there something even more bizarre going on? Game director Kenta Motakura even had to go on record to explain that Mario is in fact human. It seems like arriving at an idea this outlandish may have been some sudden stroke of madness, when in fact, it was quite a process. Early sketches of New Donk City were far less sprawling urban megalopolis, instead resembling something closer to a city block-sized version of a Nintendo World Store. This seemed to be a fourth wall-breaking mecca for all things Nintendo mashed up with Times Square. The city center featured towering ads for the N64, Super Famicom, and Star Road. There's even the words Mario and Plumber and Goomba just plastered everywhere in case you forgot which game you were playing. Why'd they change these things? Well, who's to say? Maybe Nintendo wanted to save these ideas for the Super Nintendo World theme park, or maybe they were just worried players' eyes would literally explode from all the concentrated nostalgia. Regardless, what followed was a great series of iterations. Colorful structures were gradually traded out for buildings that better resembled the concrete sponge of rat urine that is the city I chose to live in. New Donkers underwent a revamp too. Gone were these slick Wall Street-looking Gordon Goombas, perhaps too close to real-life villains, and gone was the wide range of stout, cartoony Mario-looking humans. Even taxi cabs became more realistic as they were updated. It was time to introduce, you guessed it, 2D sprite people. Naturally, they didn't pursue this direction and wound up with a perfectly normal New Donk, which is really the weirdest thing they could have possibly done. There are some additional noteworthy ideas here. Mario comforting a sullen businessman is a heartwarming scene that made it into the final game in some small capacity, but Mario shopping for clothes with Peach and fighting a gang of alley cats for a power moon, maybe not so much. All in all, there seems to be enough cut New Donk material for an entire game, but it would do a disservice to the brief but incredible level that stands out for being so normal. Number 4, costumes. Let's acknowledge the truth about Mario Odyssey. Sure, it's a game with bosses and enemies and challenges, but at the end of the day, it's really just an excuse to dress up Mario in cute costumes, right? That's not just me, right? No, I love playing the game too. I love the game, and not just cool dress up with my friend Mario. While there are tons of amazing costumes in the game, over 100 articles of clothing in total, all of those ideas had to start somewhere. That's right, even the weird costumes like the skeleton suit were doodled out ahead of time for approval. We can even observe the origins of some cut costumes that made it into the final game files, but it's the costumes that were cut entirely that excite my imagination. You've got Toadette, Luma, Cupid, this ninja look which even seems to feature a ninja star as a weapon, a band leader, this cool Mad Max outfit, and my personal favorite, an inflatable muscle man suit for strong Mario. Weirder and more impractical looks exist here also, from this panda suit reminiscent of a Tanuki suit or cat suit from Super Mario 3D World, to this Steamboy Willie looking fella. What's most exciting to me is seeing all the strange early versions of costumes. Mario's casual beach look at some point was just a t-shirt and jeans. It makes it look like he was adapted from fan fiction titled Mario Hung Out at My House, which is not a real fan fiction, and you shouldn't look it up because I definitely didn't write it. Even Mario's underwear got worked over. Remember how much the internet flipped out when we first saw Mario's nipples? Well, what if at the time he'd been wearing Cat Peach underwear, or dare I even say it, underwear that's showing off a big, thick steel pipe? One of the most exciting bits of art is this shot from the New Donk section of the book, which shows Mario stealing a cop's hat to wear it. Was thieving hats a gameplay mechanic at some point? Was it meant for puzzles or different powers? Or does Mario just know that it's super funny to steal a cop's hat? Probably the latter. Number 3, Cappy and the Odyssey. Most of the time that you're playing Mario Odyssey, you're either interacting with Mario's sentient hat, Cappy, or you're flying around from place to place in the Odyssey. But these two fixtures that are so core to the very conceit of the game went through a lot of changes as well. The Odyssey's hat-themed airship with a moon-powered sail design is cool, but long before it was soaring the skies, it was stuck to the ground. An early draft showed it as a sort of all-terrain vehicle that would take kingdoms by land before getting switched up to a slightly more practical and name-origin-appropriate boat design. Eventually, it was pulled up into the sky as a plane that still had a sail for some reason before dropping those pesky wings in favor of making it an airboat. And it wasn't long before there was a veritable smorgasbord of hat ship designs. Frankly, it's just amazing to me that at no point did they try to make it into a steampunk airship. Mario may be a lot of things, but he's not some nerd who's gonna be caught dead in a steampunk vessel, am I right? Some of them are cool, I don't know. Even more drastic than the changes made to the Odyssey were the overhauls done to Mario's in-game best bud, Cappy. Before being a delightfully strange little hat ghost thing, Cappy had his own journey to realization. He was a cute bird, he was a little Dickensian chimney sweep orphan bug thing, he was this awful elf that I hate, he was an armless slowpoke, I guess? Even when it was eventually decided to make him a slightly more appropriate body-inhabiting ghost, he still went through some versions. It seems like there may have been a freestanding version of Cappy for every hat that Mario would collect in the game, and for some time it seemed that Cappy would be an 8-ball hemorrhage-eyed demon from hell. Fun! Look, if you're gonna be using your hat to possess creatures who unwillingly relinquish control of their body, it helps if the hat's kinda cute. Number 2, variations on characters. Cappy wasn't the only character who looked completely different at the outset. While the bad guys have their own sections, and Goomba even has a question-raising sketch of a Goombette, the most interesting overhaul was the Broodals. While in my opinion the design of the Broodals as rabbits is still confusingly out of place, they could have been far, far, far weirder. Early versions showed this fearsome foursome of familial festivities as crocodiles, as birds, as reservoir dogs, as whatever this thing is. They really started to take final form when they were designed as Bowser-looking bridesmaids. Even after arriving on the idea of making them, evil, spacefaring southern dandy rabbits, or whatever they're supposed to be, they didn't just settle on the first design. They even got an underwear overhaul of their own, luckily with far fewer possible uncomfortable pipe jokes. Peach gets plenty of space in the book too, and it looks like they spared no expense on her many post-game looks. But the most interesting princess artwork is actually a different line of royalty altogether. Included with very little fanfare in the New Donk City section is Rosalina playing acoustic guitar in a casual outfit. Was she meant to play in Pauline's band at some point? Who can say? We'd love to see her more in a sequel though, or as a playable character again, or just give me Super Mario 3D World 2, or just re-release it on Switch. Guys, maybe the most interesting of all is Bowser. This image, yes, features his car from Super Mario 3D World, but it also features Bowser in an evil black Cappy of his own. What would this have looked like? Could you imagine a popular Mario character rethemed to look like Bowser? Oh, you can? Well, then let's get into it. Number 1, Bowsette. That's right, Bowsette from the memes. What? Did you think the internet invented this? Nintendo's been doing this Mario ship for 30 years. You think they haven't thought of this? They thought of everything. Their big idea for this game was Mario goes to boring New York. You want to get on Nintendo's level? The next time you meme, you should probably pick something phenomenally bland. Yoshi getting his eyes tested at the DMV when getting his license renewed, or Shy Guy deferring jury duty because of familial obligation. Don't steal that. That's actually a good idea. Is it a good idea? I don't think I can tell the difference between good ideas and bad ideas anymore. That might explain a lot of things in my life.